To be a good set dresser, you not only need to know your color wheel, but you also need to have a good idea of art history, since your directors and production designers a lot of times will be basing their movies on period pieces, but also will look towards you for providing the feel and mood of the movie that would be based on a famous painting. Here we have a pre-Raphaelite painting from the later 19th century, Victorian period, where women were seen as spirits of nature, and so the paintings were always overfilled with greenery, and the women were flowing, red haired women, nature spirits. Seen here in The French Lieutenant's Woman, the John Fowles book that was made into a movie later with Meryl Streep doing the lead, patterned after the pre Raphaelite picture, where she is almost part of the tree as a tree creature, an arboreal spirit with the green color scheme against the red hair. We get the late Victorian period. We don't have to reference ourselves to a Rossetti painting. We just get the feel. As a set dresser, we need to know these things historically so that we can make references that will only make the movies a lot stronger to understand. But we refer to paintings all the time just to give us, as a reminder, great color schemes, how to balance those primary colors. Here we see recent paintings that are just almost explosive in their pure tones of colors. But what's happened since the 19th century is that our pigments have become so chemically refined that our colors are so pure and so saturated, we can go up and down the scale, and by looking at paintings that are experimenting with combining colors, we can get a lot of ideas of how to enliven our movies. Just all the abstract paintings in the later 20th century, early millennial period, with the latest color treatments, give us ideas that Matisse would originally have appreciated, Matisse being the master of color of the 20th century. Here we have a Matisse where the reds and the greens, all the primary colors are really well matched, different from any painting before the 20th century because this isn't realistic. There's no depth here using vanishing perspective. This is all given by color. The depth is given by color. The liveliness, the three-dimensionality is all just due to color. The understanding of color that Matisse brings to art is a reference point for all set dressers. Here, just another example. And post-Matisse painters, understanding the purity, the saturation of color, just as a reference to itself as art, use a lot in referencing us as set dressers for what kind of textures we want, as we see in this painting, what kind of color combinations do we want. Because remember, to get a good set dressing on a set design or set decoration, we want to feel that there's a texture, there's a depth, and by combining different colors and splattering them or spraying them in a different way, gives us that three-dimensionality that's great for background. Moods. Going to any museum to see painters experimenting with colors and moods can also help us out in scenes that are given a certain color aura that will tell you that this isn't a happy meal, this is kind of a greenish meal, a downside meal. Or looking at a painting like this, which is a dystopian view with terracotta colors and purple, ominous backgrounds, can also give us a feeling for any kind of turn of the century look, as this would be with Wings of the Dove, a Henry James novel, which is a fin de siècle, Belle Epoque, turn of the century novel in Europe, loss of innocence of American in Europe, and we have this pale palette that we just saw in the painting preceding us, but this pale palette has got tones that are somber tones. They're washed out purples, they're dim blues, they're dark browns, and this is seen here from the movie with the blues and the greens denoting that period, so that we've got primary colors, but look how subdued they are. The hues are watered down. It's contrasting with the glint of the glass and the silver and everything, but you can see that it's old decadent Europe contrasted with the actors in the drama. If you take another look at a green expanse and overview and set dressing, you've taken this dot, and this dot is dressed by the set dressers to be aged or distressed, and but given a greenish palette against the green water, so that the movie then takes on a sickly hue that would maybe point to a bad ending or a horrific plot. As in The Hostel here, we're in a hospital, but we don't want to feel healthy about this. But this is a horror movie, so we have the greens and the yellows mixed, and it's like the sickly greens and the sallow yellows against the heart monitor screen. Just doesn't make you feel very healthy. Later in the movie, as things get grimmer, we take that green tone. We see that still a bit on the olive wall and the floor, but we start adding blacks. We start getting that hue. We darken it with black. The black clothes, the black boots, the black wheels against the chairs. The pictures on the wall have a black scheme to them. We're darkening things as things get grimmer. So the set dressers bring that to it. Taking two contrasting movies, Wings of the Dove, which we just talked about, and American Beauty on the right, set dressing in one instance is trying to darken things down to show that decadent Europe is kind of sliding into the Venetian Canal. On the other side, American Beauty is contrasting this need for rejuvenation, so this ideal of blonde life against the kind of passionate red. We see this with Kevin Spacey here, and this bathtub full of rose petals, which the set dressers have given us, understanding the red motif throughout the movie. Here we have to have the red flowers, the red through line to the movie, and of course the purple dress in the background, foreboding. Purple, remember, is if you see purple, someone's going to die. Here we have this voyeuristic scene through the window, but even then, the salad dressing has the red reflection in the bottle to keep that theme going. If we need to make it darker, though, as the movie progresses, set dressers then add the dark, the black, the black TV, the black background to the candles, the black camera, the black ceiling. They're tinting it dark. Here, the candles aren't so dark, but again, the black background, the dark background against this light gold, which is, of course, mixed with the red, that the blonde and the red, the gold and the crimson being that through line to the movie. And this is all set dressing. We put the candles out, we put the flowers out, we put the red painting on the wall. Even outside, where we're parodying the splendor of the all-American home and the picket fence, it is the set dressers who put that picket fence up and made sure that door is red in the background. But we always look towards the visual arts painting to give us that sense of accomplishment and what to present with color. Here with the reds and the greens and that little blue off in the middle there to the upper right. We use this in Amelie, the movie. Look at the red wallpaper and the green tinged reflection in the mirror with Amelie. Or just going to the market, it's the reds bursting out with the fruit against the green and even the umbrella. So that the mixture of red and green, the lusciousness of it all, is taken from painting, but it helps build the movie. Like this painting here, you see the reds, the greens, the yellows mixed in. You can take that and bring it back to Amelie here, where the set dressers will paint that railing green so it can be juxtaposed, the red dress of Amelie. Another movie going a different way, from romance, we're going into the weird, spooky, supernatural realm of David Lynch. In Inland Empire, here we have his kind of copperish red door against this sallow green wall. It's the theme of the movie. It's this disturbed. Is it real? Is it a horrific fantasy? We don't know, but we see the green painting against the red bar light. We see these dream images that are washed out pink and brown colors against that sickly green again, giving that feeling of nausea. Here we see red and blue mixed, just again, pouring that color in from whether it's a neon sign or reflection, it's giving that feeling that um, with a lot of black tones, that this is, again, creeping up on us in a bad way. Here's Monet in the mid 19th century. Because of the development of chemical pigments and dyes, the experimentation on what to do with black as a tint compared to everything else to get higher contrast really got going, because before then the dynamic range of pigments was not numerous. Then by now we have 5,000 different colors that we can mix. Well, playing with dark and black pigment was a new thing that we do all the time now with colors. We see Crazy Heart here with David Lynch again, where he's taking that black as a solid color to make it pop out, just like Matisse would in a 20th century picture here, where he's using black in the background but trying to show somewhat of a happy scene. So he's doing counterintuitive stuff, but because the color range is so big, we can play with black now, and we can do movies where, like Crazy Heart here, we have the black background being a little green, and you put the red and the gold, and suddenly you get the mood, but it's very much educated by the Manets and the Matisses in their paintings. Here's Crazy Heart again, where we have this balance of this blonde beige background wash with the dark clothes and the red shoes, high contrast using the palette. Lynch is popping out with those red shoes against that beige nondescript background. But notice how the wall's textured. The set dresser will texture that wall. So they're rubbing in a little red here, a little brown there, so it gives some kind of texture that doesn't make it flat. It has some kind of depth to it. Even in a mall, in the plaza in Santa Fe, look at how the reds make that picture all come together as a liveliness that isn't washed out by the terracotta tones. Paintings would reflect this, or they could be copied after paintings, but here we have the same plaza look with the reds popping and the adobe background against the violet sky. Much like a Frank Stella painting from the turn of the century, last century, we have that mixture, the liveliness of the colors. This modern art brings the colors to us. It's this riot of colors, the mixtures, the tones, the gradations are all there for the movies to take advantage of, like Almodovar would here in a scene advertising a movie. Look at his color palette here. The cushions on the couch, all different palettes, using the primary colors to pop out, but then mixing the purples and the greens and the beige and the silver and the blue jacket, the blue jeans, the purple coat, and the black dress. Everything is just it's liveliness. It's busy. You could watch it for just a still picture in alone for a period of time. But the movie, you can imagine a movie with this kind of coloration moving us along, is making modern art meet the cinematic medium in a great way. But it's a set dresser who has to dress the couch and know how these colors come together so they will contrast and not clash. It's like Las Vegas all over again, only as a design for sets that set dressers have to pay heed to give us that look of gold, red, green, the modern look for any kind of movie that's got a Tokyo feeling or a Vegas feeling. The movie that takes all these bright lights and brings them to the fore is what the set dresser has to do. And then, of course, we can all say it's nothing but Albuquerque on a rainy night brought to life.